Covering the islands of the Bahamas, ZNS Network presents The Bahamas Tonight.
The following portion of the news is brought to you by McDonald's. McDonald's, I'm loving it.
Government outlining an ambitious legislative agenda. Good evening, I'm Opal Roach, and this is The Bahamas Tonight. Government modernizing its laws as it keeps pace with the changing times. Crime bills are on top of the agenda, as well as legislation to protect borrowers. In this ZNS News exclusive, Vern Carey talked to the Attorney General as well as the Minister of State on the proposed laws.
On a radical legislative agenda with some 60 pieces of legislation designed to update and modernize current laws. Minister of State for Legal Affairs Damian Gomez revealed during a meeting at the Office of the Attorney General that the Borrowers' Protection Bill tops that agenda, noting that the Law Reform Commission is currently involved in drafting that bill. It will play a pivotal role in assisting homeowners who have difficulty repaying their mortgages.
The legislation will lend further assistance to such persons in limited circumstances, and we look forward to seeing that process completed early in the session of Parliament to commence on the 17th of October.
That robust agenda also includes sentencing guidelines, which is expected to make the administration of justice more efficient, particularly at the magistrates' courts.
We've already sent draft sentencing guideline proposals to the judiciary for their review and promulgation. We are involved at present in the development of legislation to enable remands to be effected every 30 days as opposed to every 7 days at present. We are also involved in drafting legislation to enable the criminal case management rules.
The mandatory minimum sentences and majority convictions where capital punishment is not involved are also being looked at, while the Criminal Procedure Code and the Evidence Act will be reformed in an effort to fight cybercrime.
There's a whole new area, for instance, with cybercrimes, and new areas will be legislated for. And we're going to move away from the Larceny Act towards a more modern Theft Act position.
Meantime, Attorney General Alison Maynard Gibson indicated that updating and reforming existing laws tie in with the Swift Justice Initiative. She also noted that work will continue on Ansbach House in Bank Lane.
We want to be sure that there are sufficient courts available so that the matters can be heard in a timely fashion. The courts are now available, but they're spread out all over the place. We did determine that this administration did determine that it would accept the policy that was started by the former administration, and that is to comprise as they called it, a judicial campus.
For ZNS News Network, I'm Vern Carey.
Well, teachers at Stapleton School taking industrial action today. Those educators say they have a number of concerns dating back years, and chief among them a reported staff shortage. Carla Palmer reports.
When ZNS News arrived at the Stapleton School on Dolphin Drive, the gates to the facility were locked with the teachers on the inside. That's where the group, led by their union president, Belinda Wilson, spoke with us.
Another security. And see, this cannot be right in the Bahamas. And we will not stand for this type of treatment toward our members. The electrical, only half of the school is working. They have a sick bay that is not prepared and is not ready. So we're saying it's not business as usual anymore at Stapleton. We're asking for help, and we want the help to happen now.
Among other primary concerns, staff shortages and overcrowding. Helena Cartwright is a senior teacher and a shop steward at the school.
For every year, just about, we have started school in a new school year with a deficit. We have persons transferred out. We never get the required amount that left to come in. And we've coped, we've worked with it because we love the children, we want what is best for the children. But unfortunately this year it's just a bit too much. We've been asking for a PE teacher in the school for 5 years. And it's only this morning we're being told that we will get a PE teacher now on Monday. We've been asking, I've been here 20 years, we've been asking for a music teacher. It is only earlier this year that we had an interim person that came to deal with music on a 2-day basis, okay? Right now we had 5 teachers who were transferred out or left or retired, whatever the reason, but 5 classroom teachers. These were persons holding classrooms. They left at the end of the summer break. And we have only been reimbursed with 3 teachers. This has all to do about wanting to give the children the best that we could possibly give to them. They are no less than any other student in this country.
According to the union, the ministry has implemented a stop policy of teachers administering medication. Tonya Black is a mother of a special needs child as well as a special education teacher's aide.
I guess is by the time they call me and tell me she's having a seizure, the teacher must stand there, watch her have a seizure, and by the time I reach my child could be dead. She said Gerald Cash Primary, no nurses sat there. And I was asking her what, I don't understand.
If they're saying that teachers are not to give the medication, then they need to say to us who is going to come in and give the medication.
As teachers air their concerns, they tell us that the classrooms accommodating 140 students were being manned by teachers' aides and school administrators.
We're going to go back into a meeting and we will decide where we go from here, but we've already filed a dispute with the minister and the PS and the director. They're quite aware of what the concerns are, and we want definitive answers.
Carla Palmer, ZNS News.
Well, Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Education, Donella Bodie, says the ministry acknowledges that there are issues at the school and the ministry is seeking to address each concern. She added that a press statement would be issued tomorrow. The Bahamas is a step closer to becoming a member of the largest trade organization in the world. One of the key sectors to benefit is agriculture. Today, shapers of the trade industry came together with their American partners for a workshop. Janaea Noel Ferguson tells us that they focused on building the regulatory framework for WTO membership.
The country's membership into the World Trade Organization is not too far away, and the Bahamas is being complimented by the U.S. Embassy Charge d'Affaires John Dinkelman for its efforts. Speaking at the opening of an inquiry training conference, the U.S. envoy said trade liberalization provides the framework for advancement for current and future developments in the Bahamas.
WTO members praise the Bahamas for the considerable progress it has made in undertaking reforms to bring it in line with the WTO agreements. However, the group noted the need for the establishment of necessary enforcement infrastructure. The participation of this technical training demonstrates the government of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas' strong commitment to putting that necessary regulatory infrastructure in place to become a member.
Minister of Financial Services Ryan Pinder says the government has an aggressive plan in place to ensure that the Bahamas becomes a WTO member sooner rather than later. He notes the progress leading to this elevation.
You heard me speak about the Standards Bureau today. That requires certain legislation and infrastructure building to undertake. Some intellectual property legislation and amendments that we have to undertake with respect to copyright and trademark initiatives. Those are important. We're bringing into force the Customs Management Act, which is a key component to what we have to do from a customs management point of view to be WTO compliant. And we're looking to modernize our Tariff Act and to bring it up to modern standards with respect to imported tariffs and how we classify those. So it's a pretty aggressive legislative agenda. We're working in conjunction with our interagency approach. Those that have to deal with finance, we work with the Ministry of Finance and Attorney General's office. Those with agriculture, we work with the Ministry of Agriculture and the Attorney General's office. So it's a very cooperative approach, so everybody is on the same page.
The minister added that the Bahamas stands to benefit tremendously as a member of the World Trade Organization.
Within WTO and within the trade initiative, there's a lot of technical assistance, even financial assistance through programs and neighboring country programs that help to alleviate the direct costs on Bahamians to those types of initiatives. We have a very aggressive, I spoke about it today, a very aggressive program of seeking technical assistance and other assistance to help modernize our different elements of our economies to be able to be in a position to exceed and be in a position to protect our local producers. So it's not all on our backs individually. There are a lot of initiatives and technical assistance programs that we will be a part of to help build that infrastructure.
Pender hopes for the Bahamas to become a part of the WTO by 2014. Janae Noel Ferguson, ZNS News Network.
Turning now to the economy, financial experts feel that the recession has bottomed out and there's hope on the horizon. In this report, Cyan Thompson talked to one of those experts about the country's economic growth.
By most accounts, the last several years have been difficult financially for the Bahamas and many countries around the world. But financial analyst and chairman of the Bahamas Chamber of Commerce Employers Confederation, Chester Cooper, says things are looking brighter. Cooper adds that foreign direct investment is starting to rev the engine of the Bahamian economy.
And there is some cautious optimism now with Bahama construction well underway, with some new developments at Albany. We anticipate that foreign direct investment in the short to medium term, mainly in the tourism space, will continue to drive the Bahamian economy for the most part.
While tourism and financial services have remained the strongest pillars of the economy, Cooper says more expansion is possible and needed in tourism. He adds that there are not only jobs that can be created in this industry, but more new entrepreneurs can emerge.
The government seemed to be keen on promoting these initiatives, given the various incentives for the downtown revitalization, given the various hotel investment encouragement incentives. So these are opportunities that Bahamians can take advantage of. Whilst things are generally flat in the world's economy, there are opportunities for us to be creative.
There is still money to be made and wealth to be built by Bahamians. Cooper believes Bahamian business people have the solutions to revamping the country.
What we need to see more in the Bahamas, though, is an unlocking of Bahamian wealth. There's a lot of wealth sitting in banks or parked somewhere else, not really mobilized. So what we want to see, hopefully in the near future, is the revitalization of Bay Street and other projects like this that might drive some opportunity, create some jobs for Bahamians, and get the economy moving again.
There is a bright side to the recession. From his overview, Cooper says Bahamian business persons have become even more shrewd, learned to work more with less, and have seen weaknesses in their business markets.
It caused us to see the opportunities in the pockets and the niches where we would not have looked otherwise.
In the words of Mr. Cooper, business persons are cautiously optimistic about the growth of the country. Meantime, they're looking forward to a robust Bahamian economy in 2013. Cyan Thompson, ZNS Network News.
Government getting monies owed on lease agreements from Arawaki vendors, and because of this, the deadline has been extended to pay outstanding fees. On August 28, they were given a 2-week deadline, and now they have an extension. Agriculture Minister V. Alfred Gray commended those vendors for doing the right thing.
Those who have signed the agreements and paid as we have asked them to, we appreciate that. Those who have not yet done so, I encourage them to do so, because I have just yesterday extended unilaterally the time for action to the end of this month. And that was due to the positive responses which we had, hoping that at the end or by the end of the month, those who have not yet done so will find it possible to do what we believe is right.
On another note, Mr. Gray maintains that government has kept its end of the bargain by keeping the area clean.
Always been the agency that cleans Arawaki and Porterski Dock. We are working in very difficult circumstances most of the times, because the moment you clean, there is somebody who's willing to throw trash or debris or dirt. And so it's always a constant effort to keep those areas clean. But I can assure you the government has done its part and will continue to do its part to make sure that sanitary conditions prevail at both of those sites.